using it to allow yourself to give yourself more permission to do what you wish to do, to be who you wish to be.
Correct.
So thank you for choosing to do that.
Correct. My understanding is that there are more.
Yes.
And my question is...
You mean more than we've already delivered?
Yes.
Yes, there are.
My question is, will you be giving us more?
Not tonight, but yes.
No, but at some point.
Yes.
Okay.
When you are ready for more, use what you've already been given.
Yes.
And then you will be ready for more. Yes?
Yes.
All right. Does that sound exciting?
Yes, I'm ready now.
Then you would know them on your own.
Oh.
Yes? Because I don't have to give them to you.
Oh, that's a good point.
Thank you. Sometimes we make them.
Thank you.
The idea is, as we have just pointed out, is that when you're ready for more, you will get them on your own. You don't need to come to us or anyone to get them for you. Yes?
Got it.
We will deliver more, but it is also your ability to deliver them to yourself. That's the whole point, isn't it?
Thank you for that.
Yes.
I was interested tonight, the woman sitting next to me, Jennifer, has been forming them out of steel.
Yes.
Which was, I thought, intriguing.
All right, then by all means avail yourself of them if that is a permission slip that works for you and you are excited about it.
Can you make any comments on them in terms of their archetypical reference or what they...
They are representative of certain energy patterns and are reflected in the neurological network of your brain in certain ways. So when you use them as a permission slip, they're like mirrors that reflect to and activate certain neurological pathways in the brain to open them up and allow for greater flow of energy in those particular pathways that are representative of the vibration of those symbols. Make sense?
Yes.
It's like literally a circuit. That's why we call them sacred circuits. It's literally like opening a new circuit pathway in the brain, in your body, in the neurological pathways of your being.
Thank you.
Yes.
Several of us, many of us here tonight, do have hybrid children.
Yes.
And my question is, are they listening to the...
Yes.
Tonight? That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
So I've been practicing, integrating, and reprogramming for the last year and a half.
Practicing, all right. How you doing?
I feel like I'm fluctuating. I do well, and then I feel I need some clarification.
All right. Before you go on, allow us to remind you, even though many of you, because you're used to the idea of ebb and flow, of polarity in your reality, will experience fluctuation. But that's not the idea necessarily of something that has to be defined in a negative way. Many times when you go to a higher plane, a higher level of frequency, and download information, you have to, in a sense, then transform that energy down to a lower level to apply it into physical reality. And by doing so, you actually then raise the vibration of physical reality and thus then don't have so far to go the next time. You understand? It's like building platforms under yourself. Another way you can look at the idea of fluctuation, before you go on, if I may, is the idea that it doesn't have to be, in a sense, thought of as this. It can be thought of as this. So that even as you go up and down, you're constantly going up on average. You understand? This is how you use your imagination to create permission slips and definitions that work for you, instead of just assuming that the definitions you have is the only definition that works. Yes?
Yes.
Do continue if there is a need to continue.
Thank you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Yes, with regard to the idea of following your highest excitement.
Yes, of acting on it.
Acting on
to the best of your ability.
To the best of
with no expectation as to what the outcome should be.
Right. So
that's the whole formula.
That is.
Because many people on your planet here say, oh, act on your highest excitement, and they throw the rest in the garbage. They don't use the whole formula. They don't use the whole picture. Yes? So we remind you to use the whole tool. Act on your highest excitement to the best of your ability, taking it as far as you can until you can take it no further, and keep doing that with absolutely zero expectation as to what the outcome should be. In other words, no insistence that the outcome has to be a certain thing, because your physical mind does not know what that real outcome needs to be, but your higher mind does. But if you use the visualization to Allow yourself to generate the energy state that's representative of that excitement, of that state of being, of that reality. Then let go of the picture that generated it. Your higher mind will bring you the manifestation that is truly representative of that energy state, which in many cases will actually be even greater than your physical mind was capable of imagining. That's why we say don't insist on it. Lose the expectation, because you're actually limiting yourself, even though your physical mind thinks, oh yes, this is the greatest thing that could possibly happen if it happens exactly like this, and it becomes insistent on it, and when it doesn't get that exact picture, it goes, oh, something's wrong. But nothing is wrong. The idea is that you're simply limiting the doorways through which the real manifestation could come that might be even greater. Make sense?
Yes. So
Yes.
acting on that highest excitement with intuition,
Yes.
with the physical mind,
Yes.
the higher mind.
Yes. The whole ball of wax, as you say, in your language. Yes.
So how can we differentiate between like addiction or obsession or something that we think might be our highest excitement?
Honesty. That's how. Honest self-examination. You have to be willing to discover that you may actually be harboring negative beliefs that you don't prefer. You have to be willing to discover that they're there. You cannot be afraid to find fear. You understand? Mm-hmm. The idea, therefore, is that if you're willing to discover them, and willing because you know that if you do discover them and identify them consciously, it will serve you and you can transform them, then you would be eager to discover them. You would be eager to find out anything that's going on within you, because it's another opportunity to know more of yourself. And all it takes is that willingness and that honest self-examination to find out what those negative definitions are that don't work for you, bring them to the surface of your consciousness so that you can see they don't belong to you and let them go. There's nothing to be afraid of in this, and if you're not afraid, you'll know the difference. You'll be able to discern the difference between excitement and anxiety, and you won't gloss it over or cover one up because you're afraid to look at it. The reason most of you are afraid to find those things is because you've been taught that if you do discover those things you're afraid of, they might actually be true about you. I guarantee you they never will be. Ever. Will anything ever be true about you that is truly in any way, shape, or form negative? If you discover, if you explore the underlying reasons you've given yourself for anything, you will understand that it's always, the intention is always one of love, but you may simply not have been given the tools to match the frequency of love. And so you may do things that are out of alignment, out of integrity, but that's all right. Many times again, by being willing to explore that within yourself and discover what that is, you may enlighten yourself as to what it is you do prefer by first encountering what it is you don't. Thus, then, the idea, as we spoke of last night, is that sometimes it's easier to find the light when it's surrounded by darkness. You understand?
Yes.
Then the light stands out. So thank the darkness, thank the polarity, thank the fear for being there, because it brought to your attention something that is a piece of the light you need to discover about yourself. And ultimately, that's all you will discover, is that you are made of living light.
Beautiful.
Yes, you are.
And with regard to the idea of letting go, so
Yes.
here we are acting on our highest excitement with this force, so to speak, but then at the same time we're...
All right, let us give you a little bit of an illumination, as we did one time before, about the concept of the law of attraction. Because even though it is not wrong as a definition that, yes, you have to be a certain vibration to attract certain things, and that is the third law, what you put out is what you get back. The deeper understanding of the law of attraction is that you already have a core frequency, as we said, that acts like a lighthouse, like a beacon. It's always radiating from you this beautiful, vibrant core vibration of your true natural self. It is always being responded to by the things that are representative of and in alignment with that true core vibration. So it's not that you have to do anything special to attract those things. If those things are not coming to you, it's not because you're not attracting them, it's because you're keeping them away with your belief. That's why all you need to do is actually let go and let them in. Okay. And the things that are not compatible with your vibration are doing their utmost to try and get away from you. But if they're not getting away from you, it's because you're holding on to them with your belief system. So let go of the things that don't belong to you and just let in the things that do. That's the way the law of attraction actually works. Make sense? See the
Yes.
difference?
Yes.
Easier, isn't it? Simpler, isn't it? Yes. It's all about simplicity. Because again, remember, even though creation is infinitely complex and rich, it is not fundamentally complicated. It is exceedingly simple. If it wasn't simple, it actually couldn't be infinite. It wouldn't stand up under its own weight if it was more complicated than it is. Make sense?
Yes.
So find the core, find the essence, find the structure, and then you will understand, then you will have clarity in your exploration. Does that help you?
Yes, it does. Thank you so much.
You are welcome so much. Our unconditional love to you as well.
Hi, Bashar.
And to you, good day.
I've been working with the sacred circuits,
Oh, all right.
and I just wanted to share an experience I had recently
Yes.
that might be beneficial for some of us, and
All
just to
right.
get some clarity. One morning I was waking up, coming out of sleep, and I had a vision that I believe was the consciousness of my young daughter. She's 14 months old.
All right.
It was this orbiting, like kind of like the lenticular rings around Saturn, here.
We understand.
This energy system orbiting circularly.
All right.
And as I watched it,
Yes.
I saw a disturbance appear in one of the layers.
Define disturbance.
Uh,
A shift, a change,
shift,
an alteration of some sort.
almost a chaotic disturbance.
Oh, all right.
Simultaneously,
Yes.
my daughter awoke and began to cry.
All right.
So is that one of the
Symptoms of acceleration? Yes.
Yeah.
Being able to perceive things that were heretofore invisible to you as energy patterns. This is a similar, not exactly identical, but a similar idea to how we perceive you.
right?
All of you, as energy patterns. And when we see those kinds of patterns do different things, that's how we read your energy. That's how we understand who you are on all the different levels that we need to.
Yeah. It was a unique vision. I think sometime in the Hindu culture, they'd say that's the third eye perception, wouldn't they?
Some of them might. Others might say something else. But it doesn't really matter because, again, all of those things are just techniques and permission slips. But what you are starting to do is expand the idea of your sensitivity to higher forms and higher frequencies of energy so that what is always all around you anyway is simply now becoming more visible to you.
Right.
So congratulations.
Thank you.
And when you say you experienced this in the morning when you woke up, I would say that you truly woke up in that moment.
That's how it felt.
Yes.
And it was also interesting that the lines, the radiating lines, appeared similar to some technology I'm working with, a spectrum analyzer.
There are no accidents.
Well, is that how it works? Like our
Yes,
mind
that's how it works.
uses available imagery to interpret these emanations visually.
Yes.
Right?
Understand that information is always, 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 without let up, coming to you from your higher mind.
Right.
It's up to you to be a sensitive enough receiver to receive it and interpret it in the way that you need to,
Right.
in alignment with your highest excitement. Yes. So it's always multifold. It's always holographic. It contains many different layers and levels. You pluck out of those layers and levels whatever is relevant for you at any given moment. Later on, you might even get the same image and see something different in it that is then relevant for you at that particular moment in your journey.
Right.
Make sense?
Oh, yes.
That's how telepathic communication actually functions. You get, in a sense, a holistic image that contains many things, and out of that you pluck what is relevant for you at any given moment.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes.
The things automatically stand out that are relevant for you.
Right.
If they weren't, other things would stand out.
Right.
Make sense?
Yes.
Does that help, or is there something else you wish to explore?
One more expansion
Yes.
on this. The idea of interacting with the higher self seems to me to be the primary objective right now. I mean, if the seat of being is the higher self and we descend down from that, then establishing
It's
and
not the seat of
maintaining-
being.
Oh, it isn't.
The idea of the higher mind is that you have what you might euphemistically call an individual soul. And in order to have a physical experience, it must create, in a sense, a bifurcation in its consciousness. And that bifurcation is the non-physical higher mind and the physical mind. Thus, then, those two things working in concert form the whole person having the experience.
Okay.
The idea then is, as you have the life experience, you're taking that so-called unfired clay of the soul that chose that experience, and you are firing it into the specific ceramic of the spirit that then forever after is representative of the spirit of that person. after it dies.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So the spirit is representative of information learned. The soul is representative of the empty well waiting to be filled with that information. And the oversoul is all of the souls and splitting off simultaneously and experiencing all those lives at the same time, bifurcating into all of those higher minds and physical minds so that they can function in that way as a person. And the physical mind thus then knows it always has the non-physical higher mind to guide it, to stand on the mountaintop and see far and wide, to guide it on its path so it doesn't keep falling into holes, which is what happens when the physical mind doesn't pay attention to the higher mind.
Yeah.
Yes?
Then spirit persists after the incarnation, doesn't it?
Everything exists at once. So the spirit exists now, the body exists now, the soul exists now, the oversoul exists now, it all exists now, but you create this linear sense of continuity by your creation of the experience called space-time. And again, remember, time is actually a side effect of the shifting of your consciousness through all the different parallel realities.
Right.
That's what time is.
Right.
So everything exists now, but you can create it to seem as if it doesn't. And thus give yourself the opportunity to actually experience the process of the discovery, the process of the creation, which cannot be experienced on higher levels because there everything is instantaneous.
Right.
So you give yourself the opportunity for enrichment by actually having an experience that seems drawn out so that you can discover yourself from a different point of view. Yes? You're playing kind of hide and seek with yourself.
Right, right.
So count to 100 and see who you find next.
As we emerge from this this pseudo-separated existence
Yes.
we live in, will we simply become more connected or unified or
No,
totally
you will
coherent?
become more aware that you've always been connected.
Well, I'm leading to, would the connection of the higher self be established and maintained perfectly, and that is the resolution of the separation?
There is no resolution. It is always a series of new discoveries and new adventures, higher and higher and higher and higher without end. I know that sounds paradoxical, but there you go.
Okay. But here on Earth, it seems to be we do it differently.
Yes.
We think we're separate. We think we're not
Yes,
connected to the
it's
whole
one of the
universe.
paradigms of the game you're playing.
Okay.
But that's what I'm saying is you don't actually reconnect because you're never disconnected. You discover that you've always been connected and you just forgot.
Now, what are we connecting to? Is it the higher
All
self?
that is.
All that is.
And any level in it that you wish to focus on, that serves you, that is relevant for your soul journey or your oversoul journey or whatever you wish to call it at any given moment. It really is quite infinite. You really have more choices than you know.
And is it just here on Earth, or is there other planets in the universe doing this?
Oh no, there are many other worlds doing this to varying degrees. Now, Earth and a few other worlds, in our experience, is one of the worlds doing it to the degree that you're doing it.
Yeah.
But this means that you're a master class because you know you're strong enough to convert this degree of darkness into light.
Okay.
Yes?
Yes. Thank you so much.
You are welcome so much.